In the fitness world, there has been a hot debate for which training method is superior: full body or split training, blood flow restriction or superset training. Point is, all these exercise methods have their place, make sense, and can be used in certain instances. However, there's only one basic training method that gives you the best bang for your buck return, great for beginners, great for improving overall strength, mobility, and burning calories. This is a full body training. While it may not be the best option for muscle growth in very advanced lifters, it builds the foundation for anyone new to the gym and is superior for those who work out 2 to 3 times per week. So why do full body workouts when you can do split muscle training, right? Well, for starters, when you're doing the full body workouts, they incorporate large amounts of muscle mass. This doesn't just mean that you will burn more calories, but incorporating more muscle will actually have a positive metabolic effect on muscle hypertrophy and growth. Now, this is true for beginners, but once you get to the advanced level, people will benefit more from the split muscle type of training, where they would do a push, pull, and legs for 3 days and then repeat it throughout the week the second time. Another great reason why would you do full body workouts for amateurs is because it will require you to do compound full body lifts like the squat, the bench press, the overhead press, which can actually not just incorporate more muscle mass, which can be better for central nervous system activation, so it can increase strength, but it will also require you to move in higher ranges of motion, which translates to better functionality or improved range of motion or mobility in the joints. So in terms of picking an amateur workout that gives you the best bang for your buck experience, the full body workout will be superior to split muscle training if you're only training around 2 times per week. It will have better metabolic adaptations, will cause muscle growth and strength, it will tone your body, it will enable you to burn more calories, lose fat, and improve your mobility and even increase strength. Results indicated that a total body training paradigm may be more appropriate for maximal strength improvement, while a split resistance training protocol may be more optimal in stimulating muscle growth in experienced resistant trained men. Split workout routine and full body workout routine promoted similar gains in muscle strength and thickness in upper and lower limbs. These findings suggest that both training strategies are equally effective in enhancing muscle adaptation in untrained individuals during the early phase of resistance training, 8 weeks. Who should do full body training and when? So the first group is amateur lifters, or people who have never lifted and just come in the gym. Their body needs to adapt to pushing weights, and the best way to do this is with a full body workout instead of doing a very hard split muscle training or isolation work. Why? Because full body compound training will have the highest metabolic effect. It will burn the most calories, improve mobility if done properly, it will increase strength, and overall give the best sort of metabolic adaptation for someone who is starting out. It will also help if you incorporate the right exercises to establish a good foundation for building muscle and increasing strength later on. But once that lifter gets to like the 6th or 12th month of full body training, then they can start to go and do a little bit more of a split body or isolation type of training if they're aiming at better and more optimal hypertrophy. The second group that will have superior effects from full body trainings are the people who train twice a week. So if someone comes only twice a week, you're probably not going to do a split training because you don't have as many days to pack in the volume for each muscle. While this won't be the optimal way to train for maximal hypertrophy, many people just want to lose a little bit of fat, be leaner, be a little bit stronger, have better muscle tissue quality, have a little bit of that metabolic changes to improve their overall physical appearance, etc., etc. And the full body workouts will give you metabolic adaptations that are going to be better than just training an isolated muscle or just one muscle group. Why? Because we only have 2 workouts, and the volume of hitting all the muscles in one workout twice weekly will be superior to, let's say, doing just chest on Mondays and on Fridays just doing legs. Workouts are known to stimulate higher release of testosterone and HGH and IGF-1 and this type of anabolic hormones, which will help induce muscle growth and muscle anabolism while helping to shred fat off your frame. So in terms of stimulating these hormones, movements like the squat, the full-on bench press, or the overhead presses, the deadlifts, will be superior than isolating a small muscle like the triceps isolation and trying to get this hormonal response. Research compared the squat movement versus leg press in 10 resistance-trained men who completed 6 sets of 10 reps. The conclusion was that free weight exercises seem to induce greater hormonal responses to resistance exercise than machine weight exercises using similar lower body multi-joint movements and primary moves. So currently, do I use the full body workout routine? Yes and no. Let me explain. So I run around 2 times a week. This is like the 6 to 7 kilometers type of run, and I also do yoga, power yoga session, which is freaking exhausting for around 60 to 90 minutes, also twice weekly. And so for lifting weights, I've reserved around 3 to sometimes 4 trainings a week. So since I'm not an amateur and I've spent some time on and off in the gym, it will be more metabolically challenging for me to push one muscle group at one day. For example, I'm doing push on Mondays, then Wednesday I'm doing pull movements, and then Friday or Saturday I'm doing legs. If I have the 4th workout, I'll do a calisthenics or full body functional workout where I'll also incorporate some cardio. But the most effective use of full body trainings for me is when I had a vacation and I didn't really exercise much for 5 to 10 days, or I was a little bit sick, or I had to study or something and I had to take a weekly break from the gym. And then coming back, I wouldn't just hit one muscle group, but I would do a full body training that's a little bit lighter and not as intense, so I sort of stimulate my body again to get it used to the transition of lifting higher weights. The first exercise is squat, and this is the superior exercise to all for lower body, in my opinion. It is great for stimulating testosterone release. It burns a lot of calories. It activates very large. Matter of fact, I think squat is in the top 3 exercises which activate the largest amount of muscle mass. It is the foundational exercise for lower body strength. The squat involves slowly resisting the weight down until you come into the squat position. The concentric part of the movement requires extension of the hip, knee, and ankle joints that push the weight up. It targets the hamstrings, the glutes, quadriceps muscle, and partially the hip flexors, adductors, and calves. The second exercise is deadlift, and this is definitely another foundational lower body exercise, but it's also one of the best posterior chain exercises, which allows you to extend back and sit or stand straight back up. It trains a lot of muscles from the rear portion of your body, like the calves, the glutes, the hamstrings, your back erectors. It allows you to improve your posture, and it is an exercise which requires great overall grip strength. The deadlift trains the main posture improving muscles. It is the ultimate posterior chain exercise which hits the glutes, back extensors, hamstrings, core, and even trapezius muscle. Third exercise is the bench press. This is your basic, optimal, and foundational exercise to stimulate growth in the chest muscles by manipulating the grip, the width of your grip, and how on an incline or decline your core or trunk lays. You can actually manipulate which muscles you incorporate more or less. It is the basic horizontal push exercise which requires very good co-activation of different even back and shoulder and rotator cuff muscles to stabilize the shoulders and keep your arms pushing. The bench press targets the main push muscles like the pectoralis major and minor, your chest, as well as your elbow extensors or triceps muscles, traps, and even upper deltoid. The fourth exercise I really love is the Arnold Press. Now this is your typical variation of overhead press. The only thing is you're doing it with dumbbells, which means you need to co-activate the shoulders even more for stabilization. And the rotation that happens in the upper part of the movement actually adds quite a good complexity and improves your functionality of the shoulder overall. It is an exercise which requires great shoulder stabilization, but also shoulder mobility, because you actually need to push and extend your arm back and overhead. The Arnold Press mainly focuses on targeting the front and middle deltoids, while other muscles like pectoralis, trapezius, and triceps work as accessory muscles. Exercise number 5 is the barbell bent over row. This exercise activates similar muscles, the posterior chain muscles, as the deadlift, but it puts more emphasis on the pulling motion, where you're trying to actually prevent core flexion, so your back erectors are active, and you're also squeezing your shoulder blades together. Your back works very fine. It is a functional horizontal, but it can also be a vertical pull-in motion. It's great for posture. The main muscles hit by the barbell bent over row are latissimus dorsi in the mid-back, the rhomboids, trapezius muscle, and the biceps. It is the ultimate complex horizontal pull movement. Exercise number 6 activates very similar muscles to the previous one. It's the lateral pull-downs, where you actually need to squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull with your chest. It's the vertical pull-in motion, which is again great for your posture and for keeping your back nice and straight. During the lat pull-down movement, the main muscles targeted are latissimus dorsi, the rotator cuff muscles, biceps brachii, and pectoralis major. Last but not least, exercise number 7 is the dips. These is one of my favorite exercises. First you go with your body weight, then you slowly progress up to maybe even adding weight on your core. The dips require a lot of shoulder stabilization, and watch out to not go in hyperextension with your shoulder, especially for someone who trains in external rotation of the shoulder like handball or volleyball players. The dips co-activate a lot of rotatory cuff and shoulder muscles to stabilize the shoulder joint as accessory muscle. The dips mainly target your push muscles, so front shoulders, chest, and triceps. That's it for today's video. So just to recap, we have the bench press, the deadlift, the lat pull down, the barbell bent over row, we have the dips, and we have the Arnold press. This is my usual full body workout routine. It activates all the muscles throughout the body. It's better for beginners or amateur lifters, those who haven't progressed into the split training phase, so to speak. Full body training will give the best bang for your buck experience, not just in terms of strength and stimulating mobility in those lower portions of the movements if you're performing compound movements, but it will also be superior in terms of burning calories and incorporating large muscle mass and having that overall fat loss muscle building effect greater than the split body training if you only train 2 to 3 times per week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.